very well. The choice of the table topics was also very good. What if it opened up the audience to, being able to imagine and answer those questions in a variety of ways that really created some vivid answers. One recommendation, I have a few recommendations, but again, it's just about when you're on table topics master, to be really control the stage. So when you're announcing people's names, it will be good to announce the names clearly, to be able to allow the person, the participant to know that they're coming on stage, to allow the audience to clap. And so that's, it's an integral part of, holding the stage and stage mastery. Otherwise, again, just wrapping it up could be a little more powerful, more succinct in how you wrap things up, so that everyone knows that you're controlling the stage or you're not controlling the stage. So those are the things that I would recommend. But otherwise, good linking between the participants. Referred back to the topics for each person that got up, really made people feel warm when they got up on stage. So well done to Christia. I think she deserves a round of applause for that. So next, Emily was the table topics evaluator. I've given her her evaluation. So again, I'm sure that you know that it's all about feedback, and she's not here for the second half. I'll skip on Emily. After Emily, we had Teddy, our sergeant at arms. Now, Teddy is always well presented, always has a good presence on stage, and I will miss his mastery of being sergeant at arms. One of the things that he's responsible for is coming in, making sure the room is set up, and without fail, Teddy has always made sure that the room is always set up, everything is where it's meant to be, and we always feel that, when we come into the club, everything is all in order and as it should be. So, his mastery of that is very, very vivid and very clear. Really welcomed the guests this evening, and also gave them a very good stage for them to actually present themselves. So make them feel warm. One recommendation is maybe not to look at the guests before calling them up, because sometimes it can be a bit daunting when you're kind of just like looking at the guests and saying, I'd like to welcome the guests tonight. So again, it might be one thing to take on board is not to look at the people when you're going to invite them onto stage. Otherwise, very good conclusion. I'm really sad to hear that it's going to be his last session, but wrapped it up in a very good way. So well done, Teddy, for that. So now I have the evaluators. Now the evaluators, I'm going to be very harsh with them today because I want to give them good feedback. But I also noticed that we have some 90-degree bandits amongst our evaluators. I should explain what 90-degree bandit is. So 90-degree bandit is someone who stands with their arms at 90 degrees with their notes and stays like that in that position. And so some of the evaluators, came up and they were using their notes and they kind of stayed in this position. So it's always good to kind of relax. And if you have your notes, no problem, have your notes, but use your arms, move them around, and so feel a bit more relaxed. Renata came up and she gave a very good evaluation of Malika. Malika is an icebreaker, so it's always good to give a very positive evaluation. I would recommend that she doesn't really need notes. Renata is very well versed in evaluating and also a very experienced member, so lose the notes next time. Overall, good vocal projection, good posture on stage, slightly stood back, but otherwise, you're not going to give me the horn this time.
I've exhausted the quarter.
Yeah, I'm going to give my evaluations. We're running ahead of time, I think. Following Renata was Ellie. So Ellie came up on stage. Again, very good presence on stage. I think it's really she underestimates her presence on stage. No need for the lectern or for any notes. Ellie, you can do a fantastic job just being yourself on stage. One of your main recommendations to Issam was to be himself, and I think you need to take that recommendation on board. Because you started off great when you weren't looking at the notes, saying what a great speech, and then you dived into the notes and it it was kind of, the speed of the momentum kind of weighted off. So, in terms of that, take on board to be a bit more yourself on stage. In terms of the way that you presented it, good presence, good vocal variety, and it was good feedback for yourself. I'll move on swiftly. Shimmy, again, good link. Shimmy was evaluating Gino. Good link with the recent email attack. So listen to the topic. And really grasped the topic and really understood that, and then wrapped it up into an example of a recent email attack. So that was very good. Again, very experienced Toastmaster, no need for notes, so I would recommend that you do away with the notes. And I noticed a bit of the 90-degree bandit activity going on there. So yeah, let loose and relax on stage. Again, getting rid of that notes would help do that. But good recommendations for Gino. I find it very difficult to recommend anything for Gino. He's always a very well-versed speaker, so very good recommendations. And finally, Joy evaluating Paul. Great start. I mean, Joy is such a joy to watch on stage. Might sound like a cliche, but she is. Really great presence, very warm, and I think the compliments that she paid to Paul were fantastic. Really made the speaker feel, made Paul feel like, really welcome and humbled that she was evaluating him. And went straight into the evaluation, which was great. It's always good to be very succinct on that. Recommendation again: lose the notes. And don't worry about going all out. Where as evaluators, the speakers really cherish the feedback that they get, and I think it's important that we can be as aggressive or as mild as we can, but in an encouraging way, obviously. But otherwise, great presence on stage, and well done to Joy. And I think that's me done. Thank you very much. Thank you.